radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Welcome, Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah. How you doing? How you doing? Today's Wednesday, February 6th, 2019. 37 days into the new year, just 328 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south. Far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? All right. This is what's going on tonight. Our very special guest that we were going to announce this morning is having some weather issues. That's right. So we rescheduled for next week, probably Monday, but next week. And so instead, tonight, we just decided, you know what else? We just thought we'd have some fun with it. Let's go Twitter night. Let's do it. My guest tonight, very special guest, the Sandbox. And that's what we're going to do. I had so much fun last time that we did this. And now, okay, I know what you're saying. Okay, so who was the surprise guest, Jimmy? Now, listen. All right, I'm going to leave this up to Twitter. We're going to start off with Twitter right now. By the way, Twitter is right here in front of me. If you want to see how much in front of me Twitter really is, when I say in front of me, here, I'm going to pull, can I pull the camera down? I guess I can, right? Let's make sure there's no legal paperwork out here, because I know what you guys would do. You would freeze frame it, zoom it up and go, that's what's on Jimmy's desk. Like, check this out. Some top secret NSA documents, you know. So I got to make sure that, let me turn this over here. Okay. That's good. I won't point the camera that way. So that's okay. All right. So Twitter is right here. Look, see, when you see me facing, you know, this is other stuff. That's other stuff. But when you see me right in here, check it out. That's Twitter right there. Do you see how Twitter that is? Okay, yeah, you guys are getting a view of the bunker here. Wow. Oh, it's kind of cool. That's like a gonzo journalism. Look, there's my coffee, speakers. There's my iPhone on this little iPhone stand. That's where I take notes. Down here's racks of gear down here. You see? Here's a mouse. Here's a mouse. A couple of computers there. down underneath here are the other computers. But okay, so right, see screen. You see how that is? Okay, you guys see that? This is Twitter. You are looking at me right in my face. Okay, so Twitter's right here. Now, back to my question. Should I reveal the special guest that was supposed to be here today? We'll be here next week. Does that spoil the surprise, though? Because I could say right now, and then you would understand everything. You would. Or should I just hold off until next week? So this is what I'm going to leave it to you. See, the thing is, be careful what you wish for, because if I tell you and you'll go, you're going to be totally bummed out. You're going to be totally bummed out, right? Or you can wait until, right. Thank you. Pangallo is a smart man. Keep us in suspense. Okay, how about a clue? Okay, all right, okay. Karen's tell us. Oh, man. Okay. I'll give you a couple of clues, and you know what? Mark is saying hold off. You should only reveal the guess if someone in the Sandbox guesses it correctly. Okay. It will never happen then, so I don't have to. Okay, so I'll give a couple clues. Hasn't done an interview in public for 2 years. That's clue number one. I'll give you clue number two. Public interviews in 30 years, a handful. There's videos. There's some TV, a lot of TV, big time, TV talk shows and whatnot. But radio? No. Nope. Okay? So I'll say that. I could give away a couple of clues. Okay, but I think you guys are no, not Steve Vai. Steve Vai does interviews all the time. But so there you go. Okay, but you're gonna just go, oh. So, if I reveal it right now, you have to understand, if I reveal it right now, you would be bummed. And then you would have to wait. Or we can keep the suspense going. But it's good stuff. And because of this, and how we book our shows each week, because of this, next week, I just had Eric Von Daniken on Coast to Coast last week. Gloria Swanson. Dan Aykroyd, that's a good guess right there. Jack Swain, I like the way you think. Yeah, we're almost at that level, by the way. That's where we're at. I think you can tell. But what it causes us is next week we are top heavy. We have got 3 unbelievable guests next week. So there you go. All right, so tonight's going to be Twitter, as you can see now. And I'm glad that I ran the camera around the bunker so you guys can get a little view. It's pretty busy in here. But anyway, so here's Twitter. So when you see me looking that way, I'm generally looking at Twitter. Underneath that is email. Okay. All right, so tonight, Twitter. The Sandbox is my guest. And this is what we're going to do. There aren't any Chaz says, what was that? See, this is one of the things about Twitter. It just clicks by to. Spit it out, Jimmy. Surprises are for 5-year-olds. I know. That was the best part of being 5. Being surprised. Don't you want to have that heart attack, that feeling? What is Richard Hoagland? Is he still around? What's Richard doing these days? Santa Claus. That'd be a good one. What's Richard Hoagland doing these days? No, not Bob Lazar. It's big. You got to go big. We're going big. Big. Doug Aldrich. That's a good guess. But now we got to go big, and Doug's cool. Okay, Rita just said enough already. So we're going to enough already that. Here's the rules for tonight. I'm not taking any phone calls. No phone calls. Everything goes through Twitter. Okay? Now, if you're not following me on Twitter, get that done now at JChurchRadio. Hashtag F2BQ. That's hashtag F, the number 2, the letter B, and the letter Q for questions. F2BQ. Post it there, and I will answer your questions. I'll even comment on your comments because it is the two of us. Elon Musk. That's another good guess. Now we're getting at the level of what we are dealing with here. President Trump. Last night, Rita and I, driving home, we're at a drive-through. Don't ask me what restaurant, but yeah, we did it. Sometimes nothing will do like a drive-through. And we're sitting in the drive-through, and we turn on the radio. And George had on Roger Stone on Coast to Coast. Did you guys listen to that last night? Wow, that was pretty heavy. That was a heavy-duty Judy last night. There's a Frank Zappa reference for you. Okay, so hashtag F2BQ is where you want to post all the action. Keep everything cleaned up for me. Okay, hashtag F2B. I'm just watching it here, and it's just click, 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 click. And I can't the questions or comments, post that over in hashtag F2BQ. Jimmy, did you break the phone system? Was it anger related? No. Phone system is good. Phone system is up and flying. The issues with the phone system, of which we're dealing with like 2%, the provider, we are running, when you do the installation on this, okay, so it's a shared platform where you have, you are able to imagine this. It's really cool. It's just like Coast to Coast or all the other radio stations. It's how it runs. You have a computer in front of you as a show host that shows all of the phone calls that are there that are on hold. In another room or another studio where you have your call screener, they have the same screen. So you're sharing that screen, okay? And then they answer the phones in there, talk, hey, where you, blah, 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 blah. And all the information can be entered from there, and then it accumulates on my screen, and then I can see all of the calls, right? Okay, it's really that simple. Well, right now, for some reason, I can only see my screen, and the calls are not ringing in Rita's studio. And we're trying to suss that out. And so we're working with the company. We've been going back and forth. So as soon as that's done, then we're good. I can answer the phones all day long and put them on hold here, but I got to do all, and I can't screen. So you guys know when you guys call in, you get the hold message. You can hear my voice. All of that is cool, right? But I don't get to talk to you until I take the call live, right? So I can put you on hold. I can put everybody on hold, but I can't screen. And you can't hear me correctly. You can't listen to the show. Okay, so that's what we're working out. Phones work fine. Okay, so see, that's what we're doing tonight with Twitter. Did you wiggle the wire? Okay, Mike. Yeah. No, it's a software issue. It's something we don't know, licensing or something. We can't figure it out. Not the licensing, but the certification, the certificate, there's something weird, and we just can't figure it out, and what's really strange is it only works on one computer in here, of which I have 6. Okay, and so it doesn't ring on this computer, same software. It's weird. It should ring if I wanted it to on everything all at the same time. It won't do it. Only works on one. So we're working it out. Okay. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Hashtag F2B is the Sandbox. Hashtag F2BQ is Faded Black Questions. All of your questions or comments posted right there. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was the aliens. And yeah, George Norrie. Yes. When I said, I didn't say George. Everybody knows him as George. When he called into this show, 5 years ago, he didn't say, Jimmy, this is George Norrie. He said, this is George. And I said, George who? So funny. Back in the day. All right. Facebook, YouTube. Go follow, like, and subscribe right now over at jimmychurchradio.com. You know what I want to do? I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, and I want all of you to do this. And I want you to do it organically. I'm not going to post or do anything. But go and grab our YouTube channel, which is YouTube/Fade to Black. I think that's what it is. And go and grab that URL and then post it everywhere. Go and subscribe to Fade to Black because we're going to close in on $100,000. And I just want to see what happens with YouTube when, because they promise you all of these things at 100,000 subscribers. Okay? And we are there. We're over 90,000. And yeah. Okay, so let's do that. We could hit it, we probably do, I don't know, 100 or 200 subscribers a day that get added, maybe 300. And some days are better than others. Some days it's 1,000. Sometimes we lose 500. But anyway, post it up, all of you, on Twitter with everybody that we have here in the Sandbox. Let's get that going. I don't want to do it. I want you to do it. And let's get that thing up over $100,000. And then let's see if YouTube gives us some respect. And let's see if they do the things that they promise us. All right. At JChurch Radio is Twitter. You can also email throughout the show, Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. All right, let's get to this breaking news. Black helicopter drills continued throughout the day today here in Los Angeles. I could hear them from my backyard, and it's trippy. And from what I can tell, from all of the video that I have seen, and there's a lot of it out there in social media, totally blacked out helicopters, no lights, blacked out tinted windows, no markings. Right? It's a very strange sight to see here in Burbank. And then I got to thinking, no, not really. It's like every other car that you see on the road. That's an inside joke if you drive around Burbank. That's a Burbank joke. There are also reports of a U.S. Navy P-8A Poseidon orbiting over downtown Los Angeles. Saw some crazy pictures of that today. And with all of this going on, the United States decided to fire off an intercontinental ballistic missile, and that lit up the Southern California sky right here in Los Angeles before hurtling across the Pacific Ocean, about 4,200 miles away. Footage showed the Minuteman III blasting out of its silo at Vandenberg Air Force Base, and then, of course, split into 3 parts, right? 3 stages, with the final mock warhead flying towards its destination, an atoll at over 15,000 miles per hour. And then, right after that, this is this morning, Russia turns around and test-fired its own RS-24 Yars ICBM. Strange days. And then I've got all kinds of other breaking news, but some of the things. Last night, State of the Union, and the reaction from the country, from the media, from both sides of the political aisle, I've got to say, pretty mixed, right? And it's pretty strange. It's strange. I'm not so sure what happened last night. And I didn't watch it. I watched all the highlights and stuff. But, wow. Nobody claimed victory. Nobody claimed defeat. And it's been pretty timid all the way around. And not even social media lighting up about it. You know, the citizens of this country. I don't know. It was a very strange night with that. And then Venezuela allegedly intercepted an arms shipment that flew out of Miami and not that many guns. It was like 18 automatic, it looked like some sniper rifles to me. And some other stuff, some satellite phones, some radios, and allegedly came out of Miami. So we got that going on. Yeah, it's been a little bit nuts. But coming up in 2 short weeks, we can all relax at the 2019 Conscious Life Expo, going on right here in Los Angeles, California, at the LAX Hilton, February 22nd through the 25th. And I mentioned this last night. I will be hosting the Ancient Aliens panel celebrating the 50th anniversary of Chariots of the Gods with Eric Von Daniken. That's going to be Friday night in the big ballroom, and you need to get tickets in advance. Now, the announcement last night is this. The panel starts at 7 p.m. on Friday. It's listed in the program, the printed program, as 8 p.m. It's not at 8 p.m., it's at 7. And I actually requested that. All right, so it's correct on the website. They didn't change it in the program. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted a 3-hour panel. All the panels that I do normally are 2 hours. It's going to be a very special night with Eric, and it's Friday night, and they said, okay, we'll give you the 3 hours. Not a problem. So they opened it up. Good. Boom. 3 hours, 7 to 10. That's all great. But it's at 7, and then and I just can't imagine how many people are going to be looking at the programs going, okay, this is at 8 p.m. But tickets are available at consciouslifeexpo.com, and you can get a full conference schedule right there, the correct one, over on the website. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com. And then right after that, of course, is Contact in the Desert. Tickets and information and schedules are right there on the website, contactinthedesert.com. We've got a full weekend of stuff. Friday night, I'll be broadcasting Fade to Black. Saturday night, I am hosting the awards dinner and the awards ceremony. I'll be hosting that. And tickets are very limited for that. So you definitely want to go and get your tickets for that dinner. And it would be really cool to have it full of Fadernauts. Yeah, think about that. All right. Now, who, what, and when, and what the awards are, you got to wait. But that'll be going on Saturday night. And then Sunday, I'll be hosting the closing night panel that I do every year there. Tickets and info, contactinthedesert.com. Then, Rita, are we ready? Are we ready for the Soltech website? Are we ready, or is that going to be tomorrow? Okay, I'm waiting for Rita's response. The Soltech gathering for us, Soltech 2.0, is going down the July 4th weekend in Colorado at the Sunrise Ranch in Loveland. And you need to go to soltechgathering.com. There you get on the waiting list. The good news is I got to see the website today that is getting ready to launch, and it is spectacular. So we're ready. We're done. We're done. Everything is done, finished, and that's it. So I don't know if it's going to be up tonight or will it be up tomorrow. What? Casper.com, or Casper just put up people.com. Ozzy Osbourne hospitalized for flu complications. Huh? Really? Okay, let's stay on top of this. I need the updates. I need the updates. Ozzy Osbourne hospitalized. Man, that really bums me out. All right. I will say this. Happy birthday to today. Axl Rose is 57. Rick Astley. That's right. Today is 53. And our dead guys' birthdays today are Gord Downey, unbelievable, 1964 to 2017, died at the age of 53. Of course, he was the lead singer of The Tragically Hip, died of brain cancer in October of 2017 at the age of 53 up in Toronto, Canada. And Natalie Cole, 1950 to 2015, daughter of Nat King Cole, died at the age of 65. Many, many hits. Sold over 30 million records, won 9 Grammy Awards, one of the greatest voices of all time. and she died of heart failure here in Los Angeles back in 2015. And then happy birthday to today, Bob Marley. 1945 to 1981, died at the age of 36, known as the ambassador of the third world for his music. Sold over 75 million albums worldwide. Died of cancer at Cedars of Lebanon Hospital in Miami, Florida. And, you know, it's funny. I did it today, and Rita shows up. I got the Bob Marley playing all day long. And it's you know, right? No women, no cry, right? You Could Be Loved. Get Up, Stand Up. Redemption Song. Listen to that like 3 times. Some of the best songs ever created. Seriously. Happy birthday today, Bob Marley. On this day in history, 1959, the first microchip is patented. And for his invention of the integrated circuit, Jack Kilby was awarded the 2000 Nobel Prize in Physics. Kilby is also the co-inventor of the handheld calculator and the thermal printer, for which he still has the patents, but he died. He's not around. Fate or fact, the American Secret Services tried to spike Hitler's carrots with female hormones to change him into a woman. There's a lot of reasons why they did it. One of the main reasons, the process in getting this done with carrots, can't taste it, can't smell it, can't see it, can't do anything. Poisons you can taste, right? You can figure that part out, but not those hormones. Nope. And that was the plan. Yeah. Think about that for a second. Is that genius or just plain dumb? All right. I want updates. I want updates with, hey, I've got some Einstein news. Rita, should I? Nope, still working on it. Rita said, okay, the website, new website, probably tomorrow, but it looks amazing. And what was I going to say? Rita, should I mention the Einstein? No, I guess we'll wait. Should we wait until maybe tomorrow? Okay. All right. This is Fade to Black. Tonight, it's the Sandbox. It's Twitter all night long. Hashtag F2BQ on Twitter. Get your questions or comments directly to me. I know who will not be a guest on Monday. You know that's right. Satoshi Nakamoto. Oh, that's funny, Mark. That's well played right there. That almost gets a retweet. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Twitter night. I'll be right back. Let's do this.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hey folks, guess what the number one phrase that Life Change Tea receives by email? You ready? We love this tea. We love this tea. Time after time, week after week, we love this tea. Life Change Tea gives you more energy, a beautiful cleansing, and fulfills its slogan perfectly. The tea that makes you go. So if you want to be on your health game, log on to getthetea.com and order Life Change Super Strength Tea. Packages come in a 1-month supply, and when you brew this stuff, wait until you see the results. Aren't we all about the results? And with a lot of people's health struggling, we can use a little bit of help. Doctors will tell you disease starts in the gut. So log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Be our next email saying, I love this tea. I love this tea. Get the tea at getthetea.com. Helping America one tea bag at a time.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Do you want to lose weight but have no idea where to begin? The Fast Start Diet, a 3-day weight loss plan, is the answer. 3 days of nutritionally balanced, calorie-restricted meals delivered right to your door. No shopping, no measuring, and no cooking. Everything is prepared for you and ready to eat at home or on the go. The Fast Start Diet has all the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting without starving. We've helped thousands of people who have struggled to reach their weight loss goals. Isn't it time we helped you? With the Fast Start Diet, you'll lose weight and feel great.
Find Fast Start Diet on Amazon or go to faststartdiet.com and use promo code TALK to get 10% off your first box. And as a special bonus, Fast Start will include their #1 rated Lipo3 appetite suppressant spray free with your order. This is Jimmy Church. And whatever your diet plans are, do what I did. Go to faststartdiet.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight is Twitter night. My guest is you, the Sandbox. Now, to participate, it is very simple. Post in Twitter. Use the hashtag F2BQ, Fade to Black Questions. Hashtag F2BQ. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can do whatever you want. It's Twitter. Twitter is live in front of me. I'm not taking phone calls tonight. Okay, and so there we go. I don't have to mention the phone numbers. Let's see. Let me back up here. Let's see where we are. 13 minutes ago, 14 minutes ago. Okay, this is where Richard Hoagland is now, the other side of midnight.com. All right, thank you for that, Kevin. I will, that's the name of his old radio show. Is he still doing that? I haven't heard anything about Richard Hoagland. Yeah, somebody keep me posted. Does anybody go? Is he still on? All right, it's 22222. Jimmy, will you talk about John Anthony West tonight a little bit? I believe today is the 1 year passing. Wow. I saw that earlier today, and I'm glad that you reminded me of that. That comes in from History Shift. That was a pretty harsh day when the announcement came in, and I remember this. I'm just going to make a brief comment about this. I I wanted to make sure that, because there was a lot of talk and things that were leading up to this about what was going on. And I called Robert Schock, and I'd spoken to Katie, Robert's wife, and she said, yeah, he's expecting your call. Here's his number at Boston University. So I call his office, and he picks up the phone, and we talked for about an hour, and it was a pretty difficult conversation, for the both of us, but he was really, really close with John. And what made it difficult for me was listening to Robert. He was just, he's just devastated. And so we went through that day. And I talked to Robert that day, and I talked to him the next day. And I think we had Robert on the show right after that night or a couple of days later. And so we talked a lot about our favorite moments with John. And although I've shared so many of those on the air, the thing that I hold up to John, I'm just thinking of these memories. Oh man, is that for so many of us, going back to the Mystery of the Sphinx with Charlton Heston and that show, which won an Emmy Award, but what that did for all of our community, right? It just broke down doors. And that is a rare opportunity because in life, because when we are growing up, doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, you're 5, 6, 7 years old, you're dreaming of becoming a president or a king or a prince or a princess, or having a castle somewhere and just ruling your kingdom, and you're dreaming and changing the world, and you're going to invent things, and you're always inventing and dreaming up, and you just want to go out there and change the world. Well, that's where we start, right? But at the end of your life, do you get the opportunity to do that? You're in rarefied air when you change the world. And John Anthony West, along with Robert Schock, changed the world. Changed it. And that's what we got and continue to have from John Anthony West. And I really mean that. And for him, through his videos and things and Serpent and the books, how I was changed and affected by it, but to have my life just go down all these crazy roads and then eventually, boom, cross paths with John Anthony West, become friends. What? Exchange ideas. It was a gift. It was a gift. So that's where I'm at with John. Now, I remember, Rita will have to help me out with this, or maybe some of you in the Sandbox were there. Late one night, we were broadcasting the radio show. Is that the First Contact in the Desert? And we're outside, and we're done. We wrap on the show. I think we wrap? Or we had like 5 minutes left or something. And here comes Jaws, and he comes down the hill. Jimmy, are we too late? And he was with Linda Moulton Howe. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Let's keep going. And it was late. It was like 10 o'clock at night. And we sat down and all the Fadernauts and everything. It was just so cool. This little intimate thing, because I think I was like standing up. I think we wrapped. And then we ended up continuing the show. Okay. Okay. Guys, I've got to text Rita right now. I have 2 screens going. Was waiting for you. Okay, Rita, you have to understand, I've been waiting for you over here on this screen, and I've got a series of texts going out to you. And now this other screen, so now we've got, I have no idea what's going on. We got all this new communication software. And see, this is what I'm saying. Rita, I don't understand. Now, we got two versions of things going on here. I see two of you. Literally two of you. And only, yeah. Okay. All right. Rita just told me from now on, Twitter is packed with questions. I'm only allowed to give 60-second answers. Okay. So my answers are now limited to 60 seconds. Okay. So let me go up. Is it Julian Assange? No, it is not. All right. And that was from Site Gorilla. Okay. From Maverick 626, Jimmy, have you seen this UFO drone footage from Spain? Looks like the one from Utah. Yes, I did see. It's now okay. I want to know what you guys think about this because the video footage feels similar to the Utah footage that came out last month. The Utah footage, which looks pretty incredible, and, it's a drone, and they went back and they were shooting some kind of a TV series or something, and they were shooting B-roll, and they went back and looked, and then this thing comes out from the valley and shoots right past. And it's pretty cool, all right? I don't know if it's real or not, but it's pretty cool. It's obviously moving very, very, very fast. And then nearly the same situation comes out of Spain. Drone footage, up in the air, mountain, boom. Out of the side of the mountain comes this object, swoops around, and flies in front of their drone, looking eerily similar. So now what do? Is it, okay, let's say that they're both legit videos. They were not created. They were not CG. So now we have a situation where these two objects are nearly identical. Is that what is going on here? I don't know if it's us or them, the proverbial question, but the videos were both taken from drones. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. The footage is incredible. The presentation, which is in Spanish, it's pretty good. They've got a breakdown of everything with Google Satellite and the position of everything and where it came out. It looks like if you look in the video, and thank you for this, Maverick, if you look in the video where it comes out of the mountain, and I wish there was more high-res imagery of this, it looks like a cave. It looks like a little black opening right there on the side of the mountain. If you look, it comes from that direction right in front of it. You don't see it come out of the cave, but it's going so fast that, it's right there. I don't know if it's a cave or if it's a shadow, what it is, but it looks like an opening on the side of the mountain. So, yes, I've seen it, and it is absolutely pretty incredible. Let's see. This is from Deuce. When and where did you meet Kitty Lee? I don't know who Kitty Lee is. So there you go, Deuce. I have no idea. Who's Kitty Lee? And then I'll answer. I don't think I know anybody named Kitty. Rick Carter, what's the weirdest encounter experience you have had involving any of the stuff you talk about on Fade to Black? What is the weirdest? Ah, man. What is the weirdest? The weirdest may be the disappearing house. That's certainly right up there. The little dude in my room was pretty crazy. I still don't know what to make of that experience. That's pretty close. And then the ghost in Hollywood at the back house. That was pretty nutty. That was a pretty crazy experience. So those are the strange, the strange ones. The most fantastic UFO sighting, the most unbelievable. I'm going to have to say it's the daytime, the beer can up at ECETI, the daylight sighting. I still don't, I have no clue as to what that was. And that was the real deal daytime sighting. that was pretty incredible. I still don't know. I trip out on that. When that just flashes in my mind's eye, the fact that it went down like it did was insane. Absolutely insane. So, yeah, the weirdest. Getting lost in my car across the street from my house was pretty bizarro. That was pretty strange. Yeah. The UFO sightings, the stuff that I've had, the nighttime, the night vision, the black triangle up in Monterey, those are just UFO sightings. Exciting, fun. I've had so many nighttime sightings now. Pretty incredible. But there's been hundreds of them. Hundreds. I don't even know how to rate those anymore. The flying saucer, that silver disc that I call it silver, but it was pink and blue too as well, that flew over us and then flashed just when it was right overhead. Also at ECETI, that was a couple of years ago. That was pretty incredible. Yeah, that rate's up there. But then, of course, the green chrome ball. But that's not strange. He's asking for the weirdest. Yeah, the weirdest. I got to go with the disappearing house. I still haven't figured that one out. All right, let's see. Randy says Jeff Bridges. Randy, clue me in on that one. Clue me in. William, longtime listener. And by the way, I'm not screening these. I'm just reading these in real time, okay? How do I get a copy of the old holy crap soundbite that once opened up the show? Oh, man. I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know the holy crap. You know what, William? Do me a favor and send me an email. You know, I'm going to do the same thing that you would do, which is go back and pull it out of the show and make the clip. But I love that. I can't remember where it came from. No, I can't remember where it came from. And I think that might have been Mark Kovar that did that. That's been a few years. That's a good memory. No kidding. Long-time listener. Thank you for that, William. John just said Paul Hellyer. No, you got to go big. Paul Hellyer. You got to go big. Got to go big. Mark Tarana. Okay, I knew he'd be in here stirring the pot at some point. Have you heard the claim that Nick Pope was not as big in the DOD as he said he was? I have not heard that. Now, okay, Mark, before you go, see, he's always stirring the pot. Who said this? Who said this? That's all. Who said this? He's on like retirement, right? He's getting a check. So I don't think he could go out there in public on every TV show and TV network in the country and say that he headed up the MOD's UFO branch. Unless it was true. Wouldn't that jeopardize his check? I don't know. I would like to know who said that. Was it his boss that said? See, the thing is, and it's not DOD, it's MOD for Nick. The secrecy that is involved with the Ministry of Defense out of the UK. I'm not so sure that you can mess with that. I don't know if you could go back in and get access to that kind of information. So whoever's making this claim had better been his boss. Had worked at the MOD next to Nick Pope to know this as a fact. That's a very dangerous ground. See, the thing is, and I say it all the time, once somebody says it now. And it could be made up, false, fake, but we are left with defending this stuff all the time. Yeah, defending it. It's crazy. All right. From David X. Pendleton, one of the coolest dudes in all of Los Angeles. What does Jimmy think about the lizard people treasure map from years gone by? Oh, here in Los Angeles. About the possibility of lizard people living beneath downtown. Yes, really. If you've been there, it isn't a stretch. David, you are absolutely right. The tunnels that still exist in downtown Los Angeles are incredible. Yes, at the turn of the century, there was, and this started even before 1900, but continued through 1930, 1940, 1950. There are lots and lots of tunnels underneath Los Angeles. Lots. And you can go and look at historical photos of those tunnels and look at the subway system that Los Angeles had at one point, where they just sealed it off and left all the trains there. And all of it's nuts. So there's that part of it. And then there are rumors. Now I believe this to be true, but there are rumors where, for instance, where Jimmy Kimmel broadcasts his show right now at the El Capitan Theater. I used to work there. Not for Jimmy Kimmel, but before he was in the building. And it's an old Masonic temple. And it's crazy because you walk through and it's all Egyptian with these huge statues and columns and rooms, and everything's made out of stone and granite, and it's massive. It's really, really cool. Multiple floors. And there were rumors about, when I worked there, about tunnels underneath the building, right? Which I totally believed, by the way. So there's that part of it. But there are stories out there that there was a tunnel that went from Jimmy Kimmel's studio to Walt Disney's office over at the Disney compound over in Studio City, that also went from, I don't know if it was like Bugsy Siegel's house, but Beverly Hills all the way to the Masonic Temple, and then from there to downtown. So, and this is in the middle of Hollywood, and these 3 tunnels went out from there, where everybody could go and meet at the Masonic Temple and not go above ground. So there's that too as well. Then there's the other part that, and this goes back all the way through to the indigenous part of the cultures that were here, the Indians and the tribes, about the lizard people underneath Los Angeles living in these tunnels. And so there you go. But what was really strange, all of these tunnels suddenly were sealed off. Everything just stopped. And all of the progress that Los Angeles had made over the years with its subway system and everything else, they blamed it on Detroit and General Motors and Ford. But yeah, they sealed it all off. Virtually at one point in Los Angeles, and I'm not making this up, there were no buses, there were no trains, no subway, no monorail, no public transportation at all. It was all about the car. And everything just stopped, and they sealed it off. Yeah. All right. Let's see what's next. Cassandra. Jimmy, since your visit with Einstein, have you had any new activity from your crystal skulls? Yes. And or feel any lasting telepathic connection to Einstein? Einstein, when I think about him, I just laugh. He makes me laugh, so I do have a connection. I don't want to get ahead of my skis here, but we may have another addition to our family here very soon. But getting back to skull activity, all the skulls are over at the house. Okay, so I'll grab this little mini skull here. See this guy? Okay, so in our bedroom, down at the foot of the bed is a long dresser with a flat screen on top of it. And then over to the right of that is, what would you call it? PlayStation 4. And on top of that, the DirecTV box, right, sits on top of the PlayStation 4. And that's over next to the TV, right, over here. In front of the PlayStation 4, we've got 5 big skulls. 4 or 5. Boom, 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 boom. And one of them, what's his name, Rita? The Russian skull. What's his name? Has been moving. And he's been doing this. So he's facing us, right? He's facing us, and he's like this. And Rita, it's like he's turned. right? Or he's turned. The other skulls aren't moving. Dude is. Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird what's going on with that. So yeah. I don't have any of the big ones here in the bunker since we moved them out to go visit Einstein. So there you go. All right, I got to hit a break here in just a second. I want the update on Ozzy Osbourne, everybody. So if you could get that, I will. I'll keep that going. Okay, Osbourne is like Keith Richards. Yeah, you got that right. Okay, let's see. From Dan. I remember thinking when I read that about Hitler, surely that was late night at the CIA. Who can come up with the most ridiculous way to kill Hitler? Dave won that round. Yeah, turning Hitler into a woman. That's pretty crazy. Randy, the truth is now, are you starting a new business? The Church Cannabis Company. Baptism by Fire 2019. www.churchcannabis.co. I got caught. If I would start a cannabis company, Randy, I wouldn't call it church. Man, I can't give everybody out there a reason to talk smack. Would you guys talk smack if I started a cannabis company? I do want to start a strain. We need to get the Fade to Black strain. I mean, the official, where you walk into the weed shop and you go, okay, you got Pineapple Express, you got, they probably don't even have that. And you got, do you guys have any Fade to Black? Yes, we do. I'll take some of that. They got all that Snoop Dogg stuff. But anyway, need a Fade to Black strain. And if we did get a Fade to Black strain, would I smoke it on the air? Because I don't smoke it, right? But I would have to, you got to test at least once, right? I'm just being straight up here. So, yeah, if somebody developed the Fade to Black strain and we got it out there at the pot shops, I think that would be so cool. I mean, I would be really into that. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Twitter night. Man, I'm not even a tenth of the way through. Rita's right. I got to speed it up. Okay, I'll speed it up. Next 2 hours, I'll blast through this. I'm getting backed up. It's Fade to Black's Twitter night. My guest, the Sandbox. Hashtag F2BQ is where you post your questions or comments. Let's do this, man.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas. Come join us for the 2019 Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles at the LAX Hilton. This year, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Chariots of the Gods with Eric Von Daniken, and I'll be hosting the panel with Eric, Linda Moulton Howe, Jason Martell, Billy Carson, and join George Norrie, Nassim Haramein, Robert Schock, Daniel Brinkley, Grant Cameron, Julia Mossbridge, and another 50 speakers who will be presenting at the 2019 Conscious Life Expo. Just go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com for tickets and a full conference schedule, or click on the CLE banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied. But you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Reclaim your active lifestyle with Angioprim. Angioprim is the original liquid oral chelation supplement. Chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in your veins and arteries that can cause blockages. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. Find out more. Go to angioprim.com. Talk to a trained consultant by calling Angioprim toll-free 877-882-7221.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, my guest is the Sandbox. It is you. It's Twitter night. Hashtag F2BQ. That's what you want to do. Use the hashtag F2BQ. Fade to Black questions. That's the number 2. F2BQ. Post it there, and I will get to everything. Renee just sent me a picture. And I'm going to save this right now because I'm going to post this up on Twitter right now of John Anthony West at, let's see, Jaws. Okay. At Contact in the Desert that night when he sat down with us. And there you go. That is really, really cool. Thank you for that, Renee. I'm going to bust this out right now. And Jaws at CIT. I'm sorry, everybody, when I do this live, but it's hard for me to do. So anyway, it's okay. All right, done. done. And it's a very cool pick. And it's thank you for Renee for doing this so fast and listening to the show. And I think will this? Renee, you sent me the wrong file. Oh, I can't post it. Man. It is a BMP. Send me a JPEG of that, Renee. Not a BMP. Can't post a BMP in Twitter. Okay, all right. Let's get back to the questions. Where are we at here? I just did. Okay, well, anyway, I'm going to do everything here. Jimmy, what's your take on last night's State of the Union as well as the Harry Reid articles that are popping up last week or two? Do you plan on having Dylan Lewis Monroe deep state mapping on soon? Love the show, and thank you for everything that you do. Okay. The Harry Reid stuff with George Knapp calling for congressional hearings. We expected this. There was a lot of stuff coming out of DeLong and others about getting the congressional hearings happening, and the chatter about that started last year, and I think that obviously that Knapp knew that this was coming. And he talked it up, and so did DeLong. And I think, anyway, so I would love to see it happen. Harry Reid is retired, but I'm sure he's got some influence there. So I don't know. It would take some serious lobbying and some pressure. Is Harry Reid the guy to do it? Could be. I think you need somebody that's in office, that is in Congress right now, or a senator, or even a governor to turn around and push this through. But I would love to see it happen. State of the Union. My take on it, which I just stated earlier in the show, I was just surprised that nobody claimed victory, nobody claimed defeat. Nobody is. It was like nobody wanted to touch it. Yeah, it was kind of weird. All of the mainstream media was just kind of passé about it, even today, and even the members of Congress and senators. It was kind of weird how everything was, and the talking heads and the pundits and everything was just. It's kind of weird. It was mixed. What I think everybody was surprised about was the tone of Trump, that he was pretty mellow. Very, very strange, very mixed. I don't know. We may have to wait till next year for this to kick up a notch, the quality of a State of the Union. In that, this is what I expected out of any State of the Union, and I've seen enough of them to know what you expect, and that is a president to get up and say, okay, these are my plans. This is what I've got going on. Bop, 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 bop. This is it. This is an answer to this, and it's just one after another. None of it ever happens, but that's what, and that was kind of weird last night. It was more like a talk about the State of the Union. It was a conversation about it. But I didn't hear that rollout of plans and projects and mandates. I didn't hear any of that, and so that was pretty strange. But that's Trump style. So everybody does their own thing. Jimmy, are you aware of filmmaker Steve Neal? Yes, I am, and I know Steve, and he's cool. He's been on the show here a couple of times, I think. I've also had him over at Coast to Coast. Have you seen his film, But Something Is There? Yes, I have. I think I have it on my hard drive, actually. If so, what are your thoughts? It is really, really good. Everybody's in it, by the way. Whitley Strieber's in it. And it talks about his childhood and what he went through. And, of course, But Something Is There. I think that was the conversation that he was having with his dad or his uncle at the time of the sighting. But, it's really, really good. And Steve is somebody that has been around in ufology for a couple of decades now. And he's one of the best model makers in film or television, period. Very talented guy. And there you go. So, yeah, I have seen it. It's very good. Highly recommended. Highly, highly recommended. Philly Sports Guy. Are you more in the extra-dimensional or extraterrestrial camp? I know possibly both, but if you had to choose one or the other. That's a tough question, Philly Sports Guy. That's really well done. I would have thought... Okay. I got to say both. I got to go both. There's a lot of reasons for that. But probably the big one is that with the amount of life that is out there in our Milky Way, forget about the universe, just in our Milky Way, that we're being visited by thousands of civilizations, right? So some may be extra-dimensional, some may be terrestrial, extraterrestrial, a mix of both. Some of these craft that I have seen, I think, could be either. And like the green chrome ball that we saw that took off, and that was a pretty big craft. It was pretty big. But as it was going up and the lasers were hitting it, these high-powered military lasers, I watched them reflect off of the side of the craft and kind of sparkle when it did it, which said to me that was a solid craft. And there are other situations. So I'm thinking that was pretty nuts and bolts. That was extraterrestrial. But there are other situations that seem extra-dimensional, these craft, that they just are like energy sources. These, I don't know. I don't want to call them plasma balls, but energy sources where they're not made of metal, and they are appearing and disappearing on command. So that's a pretty solid situation. So I don't know. I think it's a mix. And the reason why I think it's a mix is because we're visited by thousands. There is one thing I want to point out to you, Philly Sports Guy. Thank you for the question. Is so many descriptions of craft are different. You very rarely get the exact same craft. Last night, Michael Schratt on the show, and I went through all of his files, and I'm looking at all of these drawings, none of them the same. Witnesses from the 50s all the way through the 2000s, and describing these craft, round, but the craft or square or whatever, but even the black triangles, they're all just a little bit different. They're not identical. And that should be expected. I get that. But you can't expect two different civilizations on two different planets that are 100 light years apart or more to be flying the exact same craft. No, you can't. We don't even have the same, you're not driving the same car as your neighbor, I don't think. Right? You might be, but that would be strange, wouldn't it? Right? Think about how many different vehicles that we have on this planet, different types. ATVs and motorcycles, bicycles, skateboards, buses, double-decker buses, cars, station wagons, Ferraris, Yugos. Just pick. We have so many different semi-trucks and trains, and they all look different. And this is just us right here. Built in the last 10 years, 20 years. Think about everything that is different. So that's a tough call. I really think that we're visited by numerous, countless amounts of different types of civilizations that know that we're here, and they're not all flying the same vehicle. So that's part of it too. Philly Sports Guy, thank you for that. Let's see. Yes, Jimmy, he still does make the show. Oh, talking about Hoagland. Okay, good for Richard. I'm glad he's still out there doing his thing. Is he doing it? He was on, wasn't he on? He was on a terrestrial station like out in Palm Springs or something, right? Maybe Las Vegas. It's been a long time. It's been a few years. Let's see, Jimmy. At least someone in the mainstream is talking. Yes. Oh, Chicago Tribune. Thank you for that. I'll check it out during the break. Ron just said, "Are you there?" You know, Ron, I'm going to give you a response. Yes. There you go. All right. Sabrina, good evening, Jimmy. What did you think of my conspiracy theory I mentioned on Monday night of how humanity has been getting manipulated to become slaves willingly? Well, yeah. I mean, that's been going on for 5,000 years. I mean, we constantly are being manipulated to work for the man. We give in every time. And are we doing it once again? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. David Icke last year, we're going to have him on the show, I think, next week. David Icke last year in his presentation here in Los Angeles was extraordinary. He spent about an hour talking about how people are raised and manipulated into high school, to leave high school and then to go to college, then to get a degree, just to go work in a cubicle for 35 years, then to retire at the age of 65 and wonder, what was my life spent doing? And they're okay with that. Their goal is a 3-car garage with 3 cars in the driveway and a pool in the back. Of course, you don't start off with that. You start off with a 1-bedroom studio somewhere, and you work your way up through life every single day, and you are taught that is the meaning of life, just being a slave. A slave. It's unbelievable. Let's see. Casper Park special guest is Justin Bieber. How did you know? I had to go to the Great White North. I wanted to tap into, I was looking for Bob and Doug McKenzie, and we couldn't get them both on the show, so we went with Justin Bieber. But thank you for that, Susan, and that was leaked information. Alan, fader number 2. Okay, hold on. I got fader number 2 right here, Alan. I got 1 and 2. Okay, so everybody. Fader 2 wants to know if you will be at Soul Tech in 2019. Yes, I will. July 6th is his 10th birthday, and he wants to share it with his Soul Tech and Fader family. Are you kidding? Are you being serious? All right, Rita. So we got to make plans. We got to make sure we have a cake on July 6th. And Sean, how old is it's his 10th birthday. He's going to be 10 years old. He's going into double digits at Soul Tech, and I get to party with him. It's on, Alan. Okay? There's the answer to that. Let's see. Yes, the CITD toilet edition. And yes, she just sent me the JPEG. So I am now going to save that right there. She just sent it, so it's coming up to you right now. Jaws at, sorry for the delay, at CITD 2014. Boom, done. Okay, sorry for the silence. Radio silence is the absolute worst. And here we go. There it is. Boom, everybody. That's a pretty cool pick if you think about it. That is a pretty cool moment. And right after this, what is really cool about that is we went, see the dude photobombing in the background? He was photobombing for hours. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew that dude in the background. I've never seen him again. But there were all the Fadernauts that were out here taking pictures for hours and hours. He was doing that in the background. Yeah, should Photoshop that dude out. But there you go. That's the Jaws. That was the night, man. He just came down and and took some of the most incredible pictures and hung out with all the Fadernauts. Look at Linda. This is 10 o'clock at night, man. They've been speaking and out there in the heat in the desert all day long, and they look like they're just ready to go right there. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool night. Okay, where are we at? Let's see. What is going on with the Black Hawk helicopters landing in the streets of L.A. last night? Tara, I've got to tell you right now, it has been freaking everybody out. And not only did they do that, but they had bombs going off. You know, freaking everybody out. It was pretty gnarly. It was going on all day today, too. All day. I was looking at the helicopters down at the beach, and pretty nuts. Las Vegas attorney Bob Massey dies. Okay, did not know about that. This is from Brian Nuss. Did you play Gran Turismo 2? What do you think of the game's soundtrack? I loved Gran Turismo 2. It started to get really, really good. Gran Turismo 2. Why was that you playing the soundtrack, Brian? I love that game. I love it. I still got it. I've still got it somewhere. Do you think, this is from Dick, do you think aliens have a sense of humor or have fun? Would you freak out if one appeared out of nowhere? Yeah, I would freak out. I would freak out like James Fox freaked out. So there's that part. I mean, I would. I don't know if I would freak out. It depends if there's negative vibes going on. I mean, I would freak out if E.T. showed up in front of me with some kind of pulse laser handgun, shooting things. That would kind of freak me out. But if they just showed up and, either speaking or with telepathy said, okay, man, just relax. It is what you think it is. Don't trip. I think I would get through it. Do I think they have a sense of humor? I would say yes. I think about that a lot. I would say yes, because they would be so evolved that they have moved on, just like I've moved on from anger, right? I've moved on from negativity. Well, just imagine humanity in 500 years or 1,000 years just moving on and learning that negativity sucks. Laughing is good, right? Laughing is just the most therapeutic, funnest thing that you can do. That's it, right? Okay. Let's see. The guy you want to talk to about lizard people is Lyle Blackburn. Send me his info. And I got to say, I like your name. I can't say it on the air, but that's pretty good. Fade to Blackout Strain. Light and easygoing, mind-blowing. Puts the woo in your woosah. That's pretty funny. Fade to Blackout Strain. Fade to Blackout Strain. That's pretty good. That's pretty good stuff. All right, let's see. Gonna keep this going. Buzz Aldrin, then Duck. That's funny. Why is Mark Tarana perceived as a pot stirrer and a pain in the arse? 'Cause you want to be. You got to live up. Look, Mark, it's what you do, and you do it well, and you are recognized. That's hard to do, man. It's hard to do, to find your bliss and succeed at it. Absolutely. Okay, this sort of sucks. Got to learn a new site. Where is the Sandbox? That is the cue. No, you're doing good. No, right here. It's that simple. Okay, now just ask me your question. That is from the Q. Melissa UFO says, I would say that both also are 1,000 different species, but different dimensions. It's something that maybe us humans can't even understand. 100%. Absolutely 100% correct. Both, other dimensions, all of that. See, this is what's most important, is that we are just now starting to grasp the concepts of entanglement and quantum mechanics and quantum theory and extra dimensions, and you can throw in string theory into that too as well, and the possibilities of the multiverse. And I would say that the multiverse is just as possible as anything out there. And then the multi-worlds, parallel worlds situation that comes in with all of these conversations with physicists. So if we are just now understanding that, take a civilization that is 1 billion years in front of us, that managed to survive through war and famine and everything that they had to go through to make it 1 billion years. We've only been around. Homo sapiens sapien is just 150,000 years old. That's it. 150,000 years. In the age of the universe is this. 150,000 years is a couple of atoms on your skin, right? That's where we are here. Well, imagine if, and we're talking about 18 billion years here, 17 billion years. So if there's 1 billion years and something has had a chance to evolve, don't you think that they have figured out folding of space and extra dimensional activity and how to take advantage of that and communicate and faster than light, not only travel, but thought and communication, right? So an extra dimensional situation, which to me is only another frequency. It's another frequency. So we see what we see and we touch and we feel what we feel because it's vibrating literally on this frequency. But if you bounce off of that frequency a little bit and we phase out, we're not even here, and now we're in another dimension. Yeah, that's the reality of it. And they would have figured it out. So that's where I'm going with that. Thank you. That's from Melissa UFO. Rebecca. Okay, I'm going to get this one in. I got 1 minute. I want to know what aliens eat to stay alive. Okay, Rebecca, let me try this again. I want to know what aliens eat to stay alive. Whenever Corey Good is on talking to you or Emery Smith, and even if they have reproductive organs, I know this sounds crazy, but do they also have to void? If they do eat, and if not, where does their waste come out of? Of course we want to know these questions, right? Does ET use toilet paper? Or could you get your energy from breath, right? Something else going on, just from sunlight, or would you need water? Could you convert? I've wondered all of these things. You never see ETs with teeth. Well, I mean, you know what I mean? Or a nose, it's always little tiny slits and things. So could it be some type of robot? Yeah. If ET, now think about this, Rebecca, and I don't care who we're talking about here, Corey, Emery, Travis Walton, Betty and Barney Hill, or anybody else, or myself, that if we were going to go to another planet before, and we were spending 1,000 light years to get there, and by the time we get to that planet, we know all about that alien civilization that is living there. We would know everything about them. So before we went down there, you know what we would do? You know what I would do? I'd build a robot. I would build a robot that looks like them, or maybe looks like me. But I'm not going down there first, and neither are you. And ET wouldn't do that here. So maybe what we're seeing is just a representation of them. This is Fade to Black. My guest tonight is you, the Sandbox on Twitter, hashtag F2BQ. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back. This is fun.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Oh,
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Teppy. Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Twitter night. My guest is you, the Sandbox. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. Hashtag F2BQ is where you want to post your questions. I'm just hanging out with all of you tonight. And no phone calls, nothing like that. Phone system's actually shut off. I'm not even watching it. So this is from Jamie. And it is, Jimmy, have you seen these documents from ATIP of other projects the government is working on? And the answer is, of course, I've seen them. And the Some of this stuff I've already got copies on. I've got the original documents and books. I have them right here. And all of this, it's okay. It's okay, but this is my take, Jamie. All right? Okay, this is my take. This ain't nothing. This is generic blah, blah, blah. Okay, there is nothing here. All right, it's just that. The Eric Davis stuff, I've literally got the whole entire document here, the PDF of that, the Stargates, right? So anyway, a real document, I've got better stuff than what is presented here, but a real document about government programs, you want to, you know what I would, okay, something that would blow your mind. I would like to see something about aircraft that are flying right now at Area 51 that are flying with invisible skin, anti-gravitic lifting capabilities. That's what I want to see. I want to talk. I want to see talk about real engines that are currently in development that are being used for spacecraft. Right, that's what I want to see. Not this is whatever Kit Green. It's just come on. So that's my take. And when I went through the list, I was like, I got these documents, and these documents. This is the thing. I never went public with any of them. I made a couple of phone calls. I remember. I called up Dolan one day. I even sent him the documents and go, what do you think? And so let me read through them. I call him back the next day and he goes, so what do you think? I go, dude, it's just science fiction. It's good science fiction. It's well written, but it's fiction, right? These are thoughts and theories and way out there and cool. But it's and that's my take on it. I've already got this stuff. I had it for years. I never went public with any of this. I could have gone public with this stuff. I just always thought it was just funny. It's science fiction. So there you go. I want to see real special access program documents of real stuff that is really being worked on at Dugway. Leak that. Right? Leak that. Leak stuff about crazy, targeted virus weapons. Right? That alter DNA. That's what I want to see. All right? All right. So yeah, I've seen the document and it's cool. It's all right. It's all right, but there you go. Okay. What's your take? This is from Randy. What's your opinion on the structures on Mars, the face, the pyramids, and their layout? Also, what's your take on the theory that there was a nuclear war in the planet in the past? Nuclear war on Mars or here? There's probably both, actually. Let's talk about the face on Mars. Possible. That's possible. The structures, the whole Cydonia plateau, going back to Richard Hoagland and his original math on that was pretty intriguing at the time. But moving on, my take is that I think everybody will agree that at one point before Mars went dead and its core stopped moving and they lost their magnetic protection and they lost their atmosphere and that got blown away by the space winds, the planet was just like Earth. Yeah, it's just like Earth. And I would guess that there was a civilization there and an advanced one. And once the molten core stopped rotating and they lost all of the magical properties that we have here on Earth, when all of that stopped and Mars went dead, they knew that was coming. So they split. That's my take. They came here. I mean, that's about as possible as anything. When you look at the surface of Mars, my eyeballs, when I look at the surface of Mars, it looks like stuff. It doesn't look like rocks. It looks like stuff. It looks like debris everywhere. Everywhere that you look, there is stuff all over Mars. And so that's my take. So nuclear war, yeah, they probably had that there. We probably had it here. Thank you for that, Randy. Goondock Saint. Oh, that's a cool name. Weird Strand, Rabbit Hole by Fade to Black. So we're naming pot strains tonight. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Rabbit Hole by Fade to Black. That's cool. I dig that. Karen, let's see. You are now in the Fade or Not Sandbox. Welcome. Okay, that's to somebody else. I'm just reading this in real time. Okay, this is from the queue. This is messed up. Okay, trying to figure out how to post here. Just hashtag F2BQ. That's all you got to do. Post your question. Write your question, hashtag F2BQ. Who are your top 5 whistleblower insiders? Well, okay. If I'm going to go number 1, number 1 would be Bob Lazar. Number 2, I'm going to go Phil Schneider. Number 3, I've got to go Edward Snowden. And I would have Edward Snowden higher on the list if he didn't split the country. He should have stood and fought. But nonetheless, so let's keep going down. Who else on that list as a whistleblower? A solid whistleblower. Well, there's my 3. Man, I miss Phil Schneider, too, as well. The other guys there, I don't think that the other whistleblowers. Of course, Bill Tompkins. Yeah, got to put Bill Tompkins up there. You know who else? I got to go Bill Cooper. I think Bill Cooper is of whistleblower status. Yeah, and think about what he did even without Pale Horse. But what happened with bin Laden and 9/11, and then to turn around and get murdered by, our own law enforcement. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy story. I think Bill Cooper would be on that list. So that's 4. 5. That's 5. That's 5. I hit 5. So there you go. All right. Jimmy, have you ever been to the Nethercutt Auto Museum in Sylmar? I've heard of it. I haven't been there. I've always wanted to go. It's a pretty cool museum from what I have seen. Of course, everybody talks about the Peterson, which I've been to a few times, but the Nethercutt, I've got to go. I wouldn't mind going there. Do they have any Ferraris? I remember a while ago when I looked at their collection, I didn't see any Ferraris. I like to see old Ferraris or old classic racing cars. I think they have a lot of what I remember, like Duesenbergs, which I love, and things like that. Packards, pretty good vintage collection of early cars too, as well. And they focused, if I'm right, I could be wrong. They focused from the early 1900s through World War II. I don't know how far they jumped into the 50s. So let me know. Is it a good museum? Is it updated? Do they have Ferraris? Okay, this is from Beckbeat. Beckbeat is back. Welcome. Aloha. Any chance to get Jack on the show? I've asked him to come on. I've asked him to come on a few times. I've also asked him he's talking about Jack Dorsey from Twitter. I also asked him to come on Coast to Coast. And, I would love to get Jack on the show. So there you go. You know what? You just reminded me. I'll reach out to him again and get that done. Native Alien from Tainted Honor. Hey, Jimmy, Phil Schneider has been popping up everywhere again lately. Yeah, I just mentioned his name. on YouTube and social media. What's your take on him and his entire story? My take on Phil Schneider is not his stories, which are great, and his experiences, which are great. I wish there was more documented because he was murdered before there was a lot of video action going on out there. So the stuff that we have is very, very limited. But it's not the stories. It's not his experiences. No, it's the way he was killed. And that just speaks volumes. Phil Schneider was murdered in a motel room. I believe it was in Portland, Oregon. It was in Oregon. I think Portland, right? I believe so. And Phil, who didn't have use of his hands, was in a wheelchair, okay? He's missing fingers. He's got like 1 or 2 fingers on each hand, right? And they find him with surgical tubing tied around his neck in a knot, which he couldn't do, and he hung himself, allegedly. Choked to death. Can't do it. There were issues with the autopsy, with the police reports, with the investigation, and everything else that was wrapped up around this. He was very excited. He was getting, his family situation was he had things to look forward to and live for, and he was excited. And then suddenly, and that says everything about Phil Schneider. Yeah. So I'm glad that he is continuing here. Let's see. Every single dirt pit ever drove is in this museum. Oh, really? Man. See, the thing is, Clive Cussler, I don't know what Clive Cussler's net worth is, but whatever is published on Clive Cussler's net worth, multiply it by 5. Then you're going to get close. Because I'm sure that Clive Cussler is a billionaire, but one of the most successful authors ever. Of course, one of my favorites. But he's a big car collector, and he would always feature one of his cars in a Dirk Pitt novel. And Eric Stitt just posted the Clive Cussler Museum. Look at that. I bet you there's a Delahaye or 2 in there. All right, info about Lyle. Thank you for that. CD, hey, Jimmy. What do you think of the new show, Project Blue Book? Did you guys see it this week? And it was on Rita. What was I can't remember. What was it on this week? I can't remember. Oh, Foo Fighters. It was pretty cool. They're getting so out there with the Russian spies and what's going on with J. Allen Hynek's wife, and now the Russian spy, I can't remember her name. She's now made the move on the captain of J. Allen Hynek's partner. That's pretty interesting. But this thing was about the Foo Fighters, and they didn't really cover it, and that's what the episode was called. I thought that was interesting. And then J. Allen Hynek, okay, I'm giving it away. Everybody needs to go and watch it. I'll talk about the episode next week. But they go out, these guys build these World War II pilots dealing with the Foo Fighters, and come back here to the States, and they build a radio dish to communicate with the aliens, right? And so they go out with J. Allen Hynek and turn this thing on. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, there you go. All right, it's entertaining. It's fun. It's so factually, it's getting a little bit whacked out on that end. This is what I think. This is what I told Rita last night. Is this. Last night, for example, the show was called Foo Fighters. So we know that Foo Fighters were something that the pilots were experiencing over Europe, right? And there's photographs and stuff. Okay, so There's your based on actual events disclaimer at the beginning of the show. Foo Fighters. After they get past the title, like they've done on every single episode so far, the Lubbock Lights, right? Once they establish the title, and that's the last of the facts. Everything else after that are dudes and dudettes writing a script. That's what they're doing. Just writing a script. There isn't anything based on fact. But it's entertaining to watch, and it's a whole heck of a lot of fun. So that's my take. CD, I'll recommend it. See, Rita goes, she says to me last night, see, the thing is, our daughter Deanna, she would watch this show. She doesn't know anything about Foo Fighters. And she would watch this show and assume that everything in it, because of the disclaimer at the beginning, everything is true. I said, that's exactly, you just hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what's going on with this. For me, it's entertainment. It's fun. Ha ha. Let's go. Right? Let's get some chips and dip, and let's get entertained. But for everybody else out there that doesn't know about the subject and they see that disclaimer at the beginning and they go and they watch this, they think all of this stuff happened. Gonzo says, does E.T. use a bidet? Yeah. If he's an advanced civilization like the French, yeah, I would say so. I would say that is probably true. Gonza Metal. Wendy Wareham says, what really trips your BS detector? What trips your BS detector? It depends if it's in person. Okay? You have two different BS detectors. Okay? All right? Now, my BS detector, when I'm in front of somebody, it's simple. It's their face. Okay? It's their face. And that's your tip off right there. BS detector during an interview when I can't see somebody. Yeah, I can get disconnected pretty quick. My BS detector, I think, goes off mostly when somebody will avoid an answer. When somebody will avoid an answer, give me that where they constantly go away from answering the questions and go into another direction. I don't like that. It puts me in an uncomfortable position because I know that you guys are hearing the exact same thing. And when that does happen, I will watch Twitter. My email will start firing off. They avoided the question. They didn't answer the question. They avoided the question. And your BS meters go off there too. So that's usually pretty telling. Where my BS meter stays solid in the non-BS section is when I get details. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to answer this as quick as possible. I'm going to make it very simple. If you are at the scene of something and you witness something, you know everything around you. You know if the ground was wet or dry, if you're on the sidewalk or the street, you know what kind of clothes you were wearing, you know what everybody else is wearing, you know what the sky was doing, you know if there were planes overhead, you know if you heard birds chirping, you know if there was change in your pocket, you know if you know the details of everything. You know the details. And when somebody gets basic, right, and they can't get to the details, what it smelled like, was it hot that day? What did you have for lunch? Were you hungry? Those details at that moment when you can't, I'm being very generic here, but when you can't answer those details, my BS meter goes off. It means you weren't there. It means you're making it up. Because you can't, and I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. You're alone. You're at night. You're getting led out of your house by 3 ETs onto a flying saucer. You remember every single detail of everything down to the blades of grass. You remember everything around you, up, above. And when you get generic at a moment like that, and I don't care. So maybe you don't remember the things around you, but you remember your state of mind. You remember everything that you were thinking. You remember these details, and you would be able to express them. When little things like when I saw the Black Triangle in Monterey, I can tell you every single detail. I can tell you everything down to the bikes, who was with me, and what Rita and I were talking about this the other day. And this is where, because I hold Bob Lazar up very, very high. But there are, and I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking about Chant Schultz at Bell Laboratories. I can remember every single minor detail about just about every day at Bell Labs, but I know all the people that I worked with. I know where their offices were. I know what they did for lunch. I knew their habits. I knew who liked coffee mate instead of cream in their coffee. I knew all of these little details, right? And if I go to one of my classrooms in one of the schools that I attended, and it doesn't matter which one, I know my teacher, I know the classmates, I know who sat to my left, to my right, in front of me, and back of me. I know what I did. I know these details. And when you can't express those details, like for Bob Lazar, I want to know, if you were going to Caltech, I want to know, tell me the room number, which all of us do, what floor, what time were you there? Because I could tell you where I was for geometry class in every school that I went to, or algebra, or art, or drafting, or music, or computers. I could tell you anything. And I went to these schools for, short periods of time. I was an Army brat. I was moving all the time. I was going to different schools all the time, but I can tell you anything about any of those schools. So, and that's the truth. And that's going all the way up to today. So where are those details? Give me the list of all of your friends. Who did you eat with in the cafeteria? Give me the list, right? And that's where, I'm not saying that Bob's story isn't true. I'm saying that there are elements of his story that are definitely made up. And that's okay. That's okay. But you got to come clean with it. That's all. So that's where my BS meter, that's an example right there. Details. Give me the details. All right. Oh, man, I got 30 seconds. Let's see. Thomas Big Dog. Are Blue Avians and Anunnaki on the same team? Well, I would say that if you're on the Corey Good side of things, where he has talked about on the show, going out to the council and being a member, and all of these ambassadors showing up, and all of these different cultures around, that they would be represented there and they would be on the same team, if that's where you're coming from. Okay. Would they be aware of each other? I would think that, I've got 15 seconds, that we, because of our communication and a lack of, and our technology, we're not in touch with who we should be in touch with. But advanced civilizations out there, I would think, are very aware of each other and communicating with each other. They would have to be. They would have to be, right? If you're passing somebody out there in interstellar space, right, and you're going in that direction, and they pass you, well, wherever they are coming from is probably where you are going. And you're going to talk to them about it, because they're going to ask you about where you came from.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal God, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com, dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from Rivermoon. Just click on the Rivermoon coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, my guest is you, the Sandbox. It's Twitter night. Post your questions up at hashtag F2BQ, and I will get to as many as I can. Okay, so follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Okay, let's see. Jimmy, you talked with everyone. You heard every theory out there from official science and mainstream media to all kinds of conspiracies. So what's your own personal take about the big changes we are seeing in the world today? The quick answer is what we are seeing is the effects of the internet and the ability to influence people so quickly. And the man figured that out. And that's what's going on. I think that there's so much going on, but the ability to affect emotions and decision making and where we are headed instantly via the news or social media is now it's a tool, and I think it is affecting everything. You know, it was really cool back in the day, you know, jumping on jumping on America Online and suddenly chatting with somebody from around the world in real time. Was wow. You know, you had exposure like that, and you could make friends, around the planet. And the world suddenly got very, very small very quickly. And we experienced that. And it was an exciting time where you're making friends. It's not that kind of party anymore. It's now used against us. Instead of bringing us together, which it did there for a minute, and those were the golden days, it is now separating us. And I think that's what they want. I don't think they want us to agree. You know, I don't think that's the case anymore. Okay, this comes from Deslock Dark Star, Christopher Davis. He says, if you start a cannabis company, one of your blends needs to be called Secret Space Program. Yeah, we can do this all night on Twitter. We can do this all night. Next, do you think that this is from Haunted by Cheese? Do you think that the ovoid craft seen by Lonnie Zamora is the same type that Corey Good talks about? No, I don't. But I do think, no, not even close. But I do think that the Lonnie Zamora experience, that case was 100% real. I think it was exactly as Lonnie said it was. But did you notice last night the craft that Michael Schratt presented that was propped up by the wooden planks with the round windows on the side? Didn't that look like Lonnie Zamora's craft? Didn't that look the same? That was pretty interesting. I really dug that. That was really, really cool. Next, is that what Rita really sounds like? That's funny. That's funny. She's only been on the radio like maybe once. Okay, what do you think of Oumuamua? I think that it is alien technology. That's what I think. That's what I think. I think that's some alien tech. And what Professor Avi Loeb from Harvard has been saying, that he thinks it's a piece of a sail that broke off of the craft. He says it's only 1 millimeter thick and that it's curled up, and that's what we are seeing. That's bizarro world if that is the case, in that it is the evidence, the first evidence. First off, it's the first interstellar object ever to enter our solar system. That's the first thing. But second, if it's 1 millimeter thick and it's not a rock, then that is made by somebody else, not from this solar system. That's a pretty crazy thought when you think about it. Oumuamua is so closely tied to the Rama books by Arthur C. Clarke, and how Arthur C. Clarke wrote about that type of first contact and how it would happen. Well, it was virtually the same as our experience with Oumuamua. So, yeah, I do think that it is something from that is not made by us. Okay. Am I seeing a repeat? Okay, Rita, I've got okay. Let's just try to keep it from different people. All right, let's get to the important stuff. Judas Priest or Van Halen, and why? 2 different bands, man. So that's it. Judas Priest or Van Halen. If I'm in a metal mood, I go with Judas Priest all the time. But if I'm in that happy pop metal mood, I go Van Halen. So, yeah. Now, better guitar player. Wow. Well, that's Eddie Van Halen. But it's 2 different. See, on my walls when I was a kid, I had 2 things on my, 3. I had 3 things on my wall. I had Judas Priest, Van Halen, and Randy Rhoads. That's it. That's what, man. I had my Glenn Tipton and my Rob Halford and my Randy Rhoads and my Eddie Van Halen. My wall was just peppered with it. You could ask anybody that used to hang out with me. Those were the 3 things on my wall. I never went outside that circle. There was no Deep Purple. There was no Ted Nugent. There was no Iron Maiden. There was nothing else up there. That's the 3 things, man. I love Glenn Tipton, man. Love Rob Halford. Okay. Next, this is from Rebecca. My last question is, why doesn't Damon T. Berry reach out to Dr. Stephen Greer for help on his condition, since Stephen Greer used to be dealing with the government and had some issues? Listening to him last week, but I'm not him, so I'm trying not to judge. But you are. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if he knows who Stephen Greer is. I would say that Damon T. Berry, and he did reach out to me over the last couple of days again and gave me some updates. I'll keep you posted. Damon T. Berry takes his research. He does his own research. He is going into history and everything else on his own. He doesn't. I don't think he knows who Stephen Greer is. He might know who Linda Moulton Howe is. He might know who Richard Dolan is. Maybe now, but I think when he was making those films and in the very beginning and doing his research, no, he was coming at it from a whole nother angle. And I don't think any of his research has been influenced by anybody else's research and theories. So that's my take. I don't think he knows who Stephen Greer is. This is from Tim. Tim says, Tim Pullman, what was the last album you listened to start to finish, front to back, and to end? Steely Dan Asia. And I did that about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Steely Dan Asia. I did that beginning to end, back to back. Yep. Okay. So there you go. That was the last. Yeah, that was about 2 weeks ago. It's when I used to go back to back, end to end on stuff. I definitely all the time would do Queensryche. I would go beginning to end on that. I did beginning to end a lot with, and this was not that long ago either, a lot with a ZZ Top de Guayo. I couldn't stop listening to that album. All of the Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff, even all the way through Family Style, I would do that back to back, end to end. Yeah, I haven't done it so much lately with like Van Halen or other stuff, but yeah. So the last thing I did was Steely Dan Asia. Okay, next. No, Lars. Lars as in, I don't know what that means. What do you mean? Lars from Metallica? I'm not so sure. Okay, I got caught up there. Keep them coming, Rita. Let's see. Is the guest Lear? No, it is not John Lear. And let's see. Will there be a Fade to Black grilling cook-off this summer? Where would that be? I don't know. Where would we have it? Should we have a Fade to Black grill-off up at ECETI? over the July 4th weekend. I can't think of a better reason to have a grilling session. Rita, we need to schedule that. We need to make sure we have a grill at Soltech. Okay? Need to make sure that we have a grill at Soltech. Okay, this comes in from Frost Ghost. Do you think that the men in black are actual government agents or something else? It's a great question. That's a great question. If we go by, and I swing both ways on this, just so you know, and don't take that what I just said out of context. What I mean by that, I'm like a pendulum. I go back and forth with the men in black. If we go with the original sightings, the classic car, right? You know, the black classic Chrysler, Cadillac, you know, those big cars, the fedoras, the trench coats. I would tend to think that those are government dudes. Those are spooks. That's what I think, out there trying to get the answers. But the other part of it is that some of the eyewitness testimony with the pale skin, it almost makes you wonder that they thought that if they drove a big black classic car and wore a fedora and a trench coat, that they were just trying to fit in and that they might be off planet. And that's a possibility. What was the TV show that had them in it? Was that Fringe? Those dudes were pretty freaky. Yeah. But then you have, you know, of course, the Will Smith take on it, which is something together, you know, completely terrestrial with ET interactions. Okay, this comes in from Jimmy Cosmoseed. We were incarnated in this life to experience and learn, right? If we learned the lessons and figured out things we are supposed to, what do you think the designation might be? Am I reading this wrong? We're incarnated in this life to experience and learn. If we learned the lessons and figured out the things we're supposed to, what do you think the is that supposed to be destination? I'm not reading the question right. I'm not understanding it. If we learn the lesson, figure out what we're supposed to, what do you think? Okay, hit that with me again with the right words, because I'm not understanding that question. This is, again, from Mark. Have you listened to Black Sabbath's last studio album yet? I did make you a pinky promise that I would, and I did not. Okay, so send it to me, and I will check it out. Let's see, from Apocalypse 709, Dio or Ozzy versions of Black Sabbath? Tie for me. Okay, no, it's an Ozzy world when it comes to Black Sabbath. Nothing tops Sabotage. Okay, and there are some people out there that will say that Technical Ecstasy wasn't a good album. That was a great album. And their last album together with Ozzy, Never Say Die, one of the best. Doesn't take anything away from Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, or Paranoid, or Black Sabbath. But they hit their stride on Sabotage. And that was Ozzy, but then again, Technical Ecstasy. So, for me, those albums with Ozzy are the best. But then you get to the Dio and that Heaven and Hell album, that tour, of which I was in the front row at Market Square Arena, was one of the best things that I had ever heard. So that's, man, but Dio number 2. But I'm going to say this right now. Ian Gillan, when he was in Black Sabbath, that was a pretty good record too. Yeah. Disturbing the Priest. Remember that? Digital Bitch. Remember that song? Okay, so there you go. Ian Gillan with Black Sabbath was extraordinary. Okay, let's see here. Jimmy, if you could ask Buzz Aldrin one question, just one, What would you ask him on Monday, perhaps? This is from Two Sky. How did the moon smell? Okay, that's funny, and that's good. You know what I would ask Buzz? No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even ask him about the moon. I wouldn't go there. I would go straight to Phobos. I would go to the monolith. And that I would go to Mars. That's where I would go with Buzz. I'd go to Mars. I'd want to know if he has any information on the monolith, because it definitely looks artificial. It looks like it was placed there. Goes back to Arthur C. Clarke, once again, knowing something. But does Buzz know something? Does Buzz know something about Mars, and does he know something about Phobos? Why is he so fascinated with that? Because either there's ET, an intelligent life, or there is not. That's it, right? Okay, so have they been to our solar system or not? And if you are on the yes side, what is up with Phobos? Because if Phobos is artificial, if that monolith there is artificial, then that everything else is answered, right? Does Buzz know? Do we know? Do the Russians know? As you know, the Russians did a flyby and had a flying saucer intercept their probe, their satellite that they were sending to Mars when it blew past Phobos. So there you go. Okay. Next. This is from Insanity 3. What is the best and worst thing about the UFO community? The best thing about the UFO community is you can go and hang out and talk about whatever you want, normally. You can go to a conference, a meeting, a group of people at a house. It doesn't matter. Online, here, on the show. Doesn't matter. And you can talk about anything. And that's the best part. That is true. It's one of the first things that impressed me about the UFO community, that it's just wide open. Love it. It doesn't matter what anybody's going to listen to you with an open mind and have a conversation with you. That's the best part. The worst part about the UFO community is the arguing and the literal, I'm not speaking in metaphors here, the literal backstabbing that happens. And it's been going on for decades. This is not some new phenomenon. I know that some of you out there think that all of this stupidity that's going on right now is just something new in the UFO community. It is not. It's been going on forever. And my early experiences with big names in the community who immediately were telling me this and this about this person and that person, and meanwhile, the person that they are telling me this stuff about is telling me stuff about other, and this layering that was going on caused me to back up and avoid all of it. That is what I have done. I'm telling you right now, I have gone through a month on this show where I've had 10 guests on the show, and each one of those guests was talking smack about the other a month ago, right? And I'm around them, and I hear it, and I see, I'm just like, oh, this is so much fun. And so I have intentionally forced many of them to talk to each other. You know, go hang out, go out to dinner and put them next to each other at a table, or go out to breakfast, put them, at a party and put them next to each other and make them sit there. And I've done it, sometimes successful, sometimes not. But that's the most disappointing part. You would think that everybody gets along, and they do not. They don't. I'll put a panel together, and nobody wants to sit next to this person, or nobody wants to do this, or nobody wants to. It's just funny. It's funny to me. It's really funny. It's the most disappointing part. Okay, yeah, the questions are still coming in. Well, okay, I've got probably 50 left over here, and I've got another 15 or 20 here. Okay, Let's see. Jimmy, and this is from Mike. Mike says, Jimmy, when are you going to organize a Fader expedition to Egypt and Turkey? Okay. 2019 is out. We've got 2019 already slated. I know that we are going to Armenia this year, and we will be filming out there. And so that takes that up. And going up to the Armenian expedition, which all of the Fadernauts are invited to that, and we will keep you guys posted if you would like to go. Now, Egypt would be in 2020. And yes, we are going to Egypt in 2020. Okay, so there's your answer there. We have got to figure out who is going to lead that expedition. Everybody wants to do it. I would like to say that Robert Schoch should be at the top of that list. Billy Carson would be very cool. There are others that are just, unbelievably great when it comes to Egypt, but we talked about Jaws earlier, and I think going to Egypt with Robert Schoch at the front of the line for us, and maybe Billy Carson on that, and Laird Scranton would be really fun on that trip, and putting that together. So that will happen in 2020. Okay, next, this is from Noxious 11. Ian Gillan, oh my God, I'm all goosebumps. Have you heard Ian's version of Black Sabbath on the Live Born Again double disc? Most haunting version ever. Yes! And, see, that's what I'm saying. Ian Gillan, going back, Ian Gillan and everything that he has ever done has been mind-blowing. He's one of the greatest singers ever in the history of rock and roll. And one would have never thought that Ian wouldn't work in Black Sabbath. And I get that. I understood it. But no, I was all in. So thank you, Noxious Bob 11, for recognizing that. Yep, that Born Again album is so good. That is a good album, man. That is just a great album. All right. I love the music questions. This is cool. This is from Ruthlessness. This is good. I like this. Okay. Animals, Pink Floyd, end-to-end, back-to-back, best 38 minutes around. Yes, I would say that the amount of times that I've listened to that back-to-back, vinyl, I'm talking about vinyl, needle dropping on the record player with headphones on, doing the puff, puff, give, give. I can't tell you how many times I did it. Sheep on that, when it would kick in, the Fender Rhodes. Oh, man. Yeah, that's, you know what? And most people, Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall, and I understand that. Wish You Were Here. I get that. Animals, to me, it might be their best album. And they're all great, right? So thank you for that, Brian. Very cool. Or is that was Bob? Let's see. This is from Patrick. Thoughts on Tesla, the band? Your favorite album or song, if you have one? Tesla, I got to go back. What was that song? Bang, Bang. The Nuclear War video from, God, my goodness, that was a long time ago, too. 1983. That's all I know of Tesla. I mean, a couple other songs. I always thought the band was great. The singer, his name escapes me right now. I always thought that he was really, really talented. And then they struggled trying to keep guitar players in that band. So there you go. But yeah, Tesla was great. Tesla was great back in the day. And I know that they're still around. I can't remember the singer's name. Somebody tell me. Help me out. Who is the singer in Tesla? I'm not going to Google it. Who was the singer in Modern Day Cowboy? That was it. Look at you guys. Van Halen with David Lee Roth? Well, of course. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. My guest tonight is you. It's the Sandbox. Hashtag F2BQ for Fade to Black questions. I'll be right back. I'm going to get them all in. I'm going to try. I'll be right back. Stay with me.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your girl Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi folks, CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and my family is safe because of Numana Emergency Food Storage. Just go to the Numana banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Promo code Jimmy10.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
This is Kristen, Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your Jimmy Church. Got my cables all tangled up. You guys are watching me on the. What's he doing? It's like I couldn't. Anyway, that's why I was delayed. All right, my guest tonight is you, the Sandbox. It is Twitter night. Use hashtag F2BQ to get in on all of the action. And there you go. I'm going to keep this going. There's so many. I don't want to just babble right now and talk about things and and post. I've got tons of questions here, so let's continue with this. Let's see. Next up. Okay. This, Jimmy, what was the first UFO case that you heard of that made you say this is real? By the way, for me, it was Betty and Barney Hill. Follow-up question, what is your take on Bud Hopkins and his methods? Okay, what was the first case that made me say this is real? I know that the first case, I've got to go back to the fourth grade, when I had opened up either an encyclopedia, which I think is what it was in, and I looked up UFO, and there was a picture of one of the Rex Heflin images was there in the encyclopedia, and I read about it. And to this day, that still haunts me. And I think that is some of the best evidence out there. Again, taken with a Polaroid camera down in Santa Ana on the side of the road. He was a worker for the county, and pulled over, had a camera with him. I think it was part of his job, and he sees this object, and the smoke ring that it left in the air was pretty crazy. So, and that was a series of Polaroids that were taken from his pickup truck, and that case is solid. Going after that, there were so many early on cases that I thought were pretty influential. But then moving back up into an interrupted journey and reading those books back in 1984, and also Betty Andreessen and the Andreessen Affair, those two books were pivotal for me. But going back to my original thing that really freaked me out, I was only 9 years old, 9 years old, and that Rex Heflin photograph. So there you go. That's where I'm going with that. This is from Mad Dog. What is your case closed go-to ultimate UFO case that answers the questions, we are not alone, and why? Man. So many. I mean, I'm just flooding through my mind right now. But Travis Walton, and for a lot of different reasons, but we have multiple eyewitnesses. Of course, we have the polygraph test. We have his, just his memory. And here we are so many years later, still looking back at that case. So Travis Walton is pretty solid. His team that was around him, the logging crew, all said the same things, and they're still here. It's different than Roswell. It's different than Malmstrom. But we got to, man, Rendlesham is strong too as well, because those eyewitnesses are still alive today. So, yeah, it's documented. So, yeah, maybe, it's kind of a toss-up. I think those are the two strongest cases. And it's eyewitnesses. It's multiple eyewitnesses in both of those cases. So that's kind of where I have to leave that. Okay. Let's see. What is your take on the death of John Mack, accident or not? Yeah, no, the timing of it is what is so suspect there. I am surprised that more wouldn't say that he was taken out. That feels weird to me, especially the people that are around him. But seems very suspect, doesn't it? Right? Hit by a car. Yeah, pretty strange. Pretty strange. Okay. Any new musicians and or bands pop up on your radar? They do all the time. Yeah, they do all the time. I'm going to have to answer that a bit differently, maybe in a written statement tomorrow, because I listen to stuff. People send me stuff all the time, and I go back and check it out. There are a couple of bands right now that I think are really, really, really good. And I've been listening to them on the rock stations here that I've meant to write down. And I'll have to go and look them up. But there are a couple right now that I think are really, really, really good. Okay? And, I can't avoid... I'm not avoiding it because I listen to it all the time. But I'm not like I was when I was, 16, where I would sit, with the pen and paper and wait for stuff to come up on the radio and then write it down and then go try to find the cassette and buy it. I'm not in that kind of mindset these days. Next. Jimmy, do you remember the band EZO from Japan? Of course I remember EZO from Japan. All right. So, okay. Next. Jimmy, do you know about the show One Strange Rock with Will Smith? Rita and I started binging it last night. We got 2 episodes in. It's on Nat Geo. That's a pretty extraordinary series, everybody. It's called One Strange Rock. Will Smith is pretty good in it. You could have had anybody host this show. It doesn't matter. It's the visuals and the presentation. So what they've done is they have 9 astronauts, I think it's 9, that were all on the International Space Station, and then talk about their experiences that they went through, looking at Earth from the International Space Station, and the effects on them, and then what they learned from that. And it's pretty cool. Now, I've only gone 2 episodes in. We'll continue tonight, but it's extraordinary, and every Fadernaut should watch it. You know what? No, don't. Don't watch it. Don't watch it, because I'm going to steal material from it. And you're going to know when I do. So, yeah, don't watch it. It's called One Strange Rock. If you see it up on your playlist or a suggested video, don't watch it. If you see anything new with Will Smith and Nat Geo, do not watch the show. Okay? Because I'm going to steal material. Okay? All right. Thank you for that public service announcement. This is from The Way. The Way says, Jimmy, have you ever thought about trying to get one or all of the astronauts on your show from STS-48 mission? It's easily one of the best UFOs. Yes, it is. And I have tried twice. We had gotten close to that, and then they pulled. Yeah, and I think that this is my take. This is my take. I think that all of the astronauts know that something is going on and they've seen stuff. Every single one. Coming on a show like this is something that they don't want to do because it will affect their reputation out there. That's what I think. Going on Fox or going on Larry King or doing something like that in the mainstream and getting asked about it, they can do the dance. But if you come on a show like this, right, then you are now considered part of this community. And they just won't do it. I would love to have them on the show. There you go. I can't comment any further about what happened because I got pretty negative with it. Okay, Jimmy, this weekend we are going to the extreme mountain bike riding in Mount Wilson. Do you want to come along? I have an extra bike. I'm on coast this weekend. Otherwise, I would. So there's my answer. All right? I'm on coast this weekend, but I would love to go. Okay, I've ridden Mount Wilson, by the way. Let's see. This is from Ricky. Did the magnetic poles reverse for 7 to 12 days back. Oh, yeah. No, they didn't reverse, but to the whole of the world, or is it just in areas around? Okay, this is what's going on. The magnetic north is moving now at approximately, I think it's 34 miles west per year. Not that strange in that it's always been moving west. As they have measured it traditionally up until the last few years, it's been about 4 to 6 miles per year, and it's slowly moving towards Russia. But now it's 30 over 30 miles per year. Now, does it affect? It only affects things up there. Remember, okay. So look at it like this. 34 miles up here is a big deal. 34 miles down here is not really measurable. So they're saying that everybody south of 55 degrees is virtually unaffected by it. They thought it was going to affect GPS and other things. But will it pick up? Will it move faster? I mean, if it just jumped 1,000 miles in a night, then we've got some issues. There's no question about that. Second is what's causing it. And the river flows of molten lava of iron and nickel that are underneath the Earth's surface, which is always designated magnetic north, that shifting, right? What they are really concerned about is if they actually shift, whop and swap, and what effects that would have, not only with us magnetically, and will we lose our protection from the sun? Will we have a momentary lapse of that? That's the other thing. And the other part of it is, earthquakes. Yeah, volcanic activity. Would something kick off catastrophic? Well, we don't know. And is this an indication that we are moving to a pole shift? Pole swap. That is pretty crazy. Okay, next from Triscale. What are your favorite guitar amps to use live or record with, and how many different ones do you own? Right now, I've only got 2. I've owned everything, but right now, sitting behind me, right here, I've got the new Fender. It's right down there, which is pretty cool. It's one of the new Fender modeling amplifiers. But big fan of tube amps. I've had Marshalls and just I've had Ashdown over the years. But that being said, I use the Digitech Genesis 3 for a long time. I don't have that system anymore. But I got so good at the modeling on that and dialing it in, getting out of the presets and starting with 0 and putting it together, where you could really get stuff that was convincing out of it. And I'm a big fan of that. And taking that rig, so I had a really nice stereo rig set up with that. So my stereo guitar amplifiers, which were Ashdown, I just ran clean. And then I would run stereo out with the Genesis 3. I had the full expression pedals, big board and setup. And that was really cool. So I'm starting to do the same thing with the Fender, which is get out of the presets and go in and dial. It's pretty cool. So there you go. And it's got +4 direct outs and everything for recording direct. So there you go. I'm a Fender man today. Let's see. I've got a slant 412 cabinet over at the house in the garage that hasn't been plugged in forever. So there's the answer there. Let's see. Did you listen to the band UFO with Michael Schenker? Of course. Absolutely. That's some of the best stuff ever recorded. Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love all, anything with Michael Schenker was great. I still have all of his CDs autographed. And cool dude, too. Okay, what's your take on modern-day artifacts being found in prehistoric sites, embedded in some such as the London Hammer in Texas. Yeah, good stuff. Michael Cremo comes to mind. The out-of-place artifacts, when out-of-place objects, they have been found everywhere. Everywhere. When you find a screw embedded in coal at the bottom of a mine shaft that is 400 million years old, I've got questions. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah, the London Hammer that was found in Texas, that I believe that was in limestone. I could be wrong. But the dating on that, if it was really in that, where you're talking about, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million years old, and it's obviously a hammer, that makes you wonder. And that wasn't the only thing found in Texas, by the way, or in the United States. I think Michael Cremo has got the best information on this, though. What if some UFO sightings are bleeding from past and future? I totally think that. We had the rabbi Ariel Bar Zadok on the show, where he thinks it's us. It's us. It's a past civilization. We left the planet. Now we're coming back, and we are visiting ourselves. Going back to the Rendlesham craft, where Jim Penniston says that he was told by them that they were time travelers. They were us from the future. I absolutely could see that as a possibility, and I think about that all the time. Simply put, the future is the future, right? The past is the past. But the future is in front of us. And if time travel is possible, which it is, then they would have figured that out and would be here visiting us in all different forms. But would we recognize ourselves from the future? Would we look like us right now, 10,000 years from now? Would we? Would we have these bodies, or would we be light energy beings? Right? And so we come back and visit us now, and we see, it was this light being thing. Okay, so we automatically think ET. We don't jump into that would be us from the future. It's a very interesting point to consider. All of the interdimensional things that I was talking about earlier in the show. Think about that. Is that just time traveling? Is it us from the future coming back for whatever reason that it may be? It's a very interesting way to look at things. So, yeah. Yep. From the past and future, all options are on the table until we actually get firm answers. Any word on the completion of the ESETI documentary? It's still being worked on. Yeah. I'll reach out to Jason Quitt and see what is up with that. But thank you. We'll keep you posted. Let's see. This is from Sarah. If we could see our galactic counterparts on a starship cloaked above Burbank right now, Star Trek style, what color would our jumpsuits be? Emblem, what role position do you think you hold on the starship? Yeah, I think about that stuff all the time. Yeah, my role, you know what? I got to go with it. Like all of us young men, I always see myself as the Captain Kirk guy. I don't think I could be the doctor on the ship or an engineer, not even the pilot, flight crew, a chef. Somebody, you always think about that too in Star Trek, the guys working in the cafeteria. Nope, I see myself as, what's his name in Orville, sitting at the command. That's just who I am. But the jumpsuits, the emblems, that's actually very funny. All right, let's see. I've got time for maybe one more. What's the deal with the sentence, I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush? Man, that's for you to figure out. that is a singular experience. Any news on a possible Zach Wilde appearance on the show? This is from Michelle. I actually texted, I saw Zach last weekend at the NAMM show, and literally walked, and he had this film crew around him, and I can't tell you how many people were in back of him, and he was walking into the Fender booth. I think it was Jackson, or maybe it was Charvel. And anyway, the last thing I was going to do at that moment was go, hey, man, did you get my text? Can you come out? I can't do it. So I let it go, and I just stood there for a second. But I did text him not that long ago, maybe 6 months ago. I'm looking for my phone. Oh, here it is. And asked him to come on Fade to Black. So you just reminded me. I will hit him up one more time. Okay, let's see. How about could we only interact? This is from IPD. Interact with our future. Okay, let me try this again. How about if we could only interact with our future and past selves? Am I not understanding that question? Okay, IPD, how about if, well, of course. I mean, the answer to that is, well, who else are we going to interact with? Our current selves? Okay, now, I just glanced up as I'm going to sign off here. I'm looking at this. What do you think of the Cicada 3301 endgame is? I'm not even sure who Cicada 3301 was or is. But the key word there is game. I just think it was people having fun. That's all. It was just a puzzle. It was a game. It was like Clue. It was a game. That's what I think. I don't think it's anything deeper than that, and which leans into other questions as well that I'm going to get into next week on the show with a couple of our guests. Certainly the Q material is going to be discussed next week. And what a great night on the show. I really enjoy doing this with you. I think we should do this more often. And I'm looking through, and I missed literally 100 don't wear a red shirt. That's funny. The red shirt dudes in Star Trek, they went first every time. But thank you for all of these questions tonight. I'm just scanning through. I don't know if I missed anybody. But I tried to. This is so much fun. I mean, it's great. We can just do this. This is loads of fun. I agree. It's totally cool. Do this. You know how tired my head is right now? Think about what it's like to answer 50 or 100 questions, rapid fire, live on the air, and not pre-screened. Just go. Go time. It's fun. Hate them. They are dangerous. You guys are great. Okay, I got to get out of here, and I'll see everybody tomorrow night. It's Fader night, open lines all night long. Friday, I'm off, and then Saturday and Sunday, I'm over hosting Coast to Coast AM all weekend. There is nothing like a Twitter night. You know what else? Fader night, which is what we're doing tomorrow night. Everybody, behave, be well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you tomorrow night right here. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast owned and copyrighted 2019 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's cool, Elf. I dig that. Until tomorrow night, everybody be safe. Go back, Lee Tappy.